Here we have a used 2016 Kia Soul in the Plus trim level. This Soul comes in clear white, and then we have black cloth interior. Now for the powertrain, we get a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, and that's made to a 6-speed automatic transmission. So we're just gonna see how it's held up over the past few years. As we get around to the front end here, we do have our halogen headlamps, halogen fog lights. Please excuse the glare. But it seems to have held up pretty nicely, just how the material's laid out and all that. 17-inch aluminum wheels are here. And then to the door panel, we have our power mirror controls, pick a side, offset in the middle, and then we can adjust using the dial. Rear window lock, power door lock controls, one-touch automatic up and down windows for the front, and then just regular power windows for the back. Bottle holder there, traction control, hood release. This does have aftermarket floor mats. And then here we have the gas cap release. But there's our manual driver's seat. Had that adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. So let's just get right into the rear seat room. So not too bad of a squeeze, but it is a squeeze for me having longer legs, but several inches of headroom with this being kind of a higher sitting vehicle, if you will. And I do like that we have the middle seat that folds down. Bottle holders are there. Grab handle on the right side, grab handle with a hook on the left side, excuse me. Let's go ahead and make our way towards the back. Take a quick stop just to see the fuel cap. There's that there if you're curious. So it is lockable because we have the release up front. For those of you that are worried about getting your gas siphoned, and excuse my shadow, but there's the back end, and the backup camera is integrated right in there, which I like. And somebody's just having issues with scuffs. The previous owner just putting stuff in here. It's a little high, but not too bad. Then underneath here, storage. And then you can put a spare down there if you want to. And I like the cargo tray. We can kind of like fold that back and forth if we don't want to use it. And sorry if the wind noise is coming through. It's a bit chilly out here today, but it is December. And if you want to fold the seat flat, just pull up there. And then when the seat's up far enough, it'll fold flat and you can run longer objects through. And then pretty easy to just lock it back into place. And then we do have our bottom car seat anchors down there. Pretty easy to get to. And then we have a seat back pocket on the passenger side. And then for this front passenger seat, we can only tilt the back and pull the seat bottom back and forth. Love the glove compartment space, so that is massive. But where we have the hood released, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. It's mostly covered up there, but that's what the engine bay looks like. I like that we have the hydraulics too, instead of having to hold it up. They seem to be pretty strong, so hopefully you don't have to worry about it falling on your head while you're under there. But hopefully you won't have to be under there too much. Top of the driver's seat here. There's the horn. And then I like the steering wheel here. It doesn't feel like leather, but it also doesn't feel like your typical hard vinyl or hard plastic there. So that's pretty impressive how they did that. Hazards are here. Now this does have a hard drive built in, so the previous owner has all of their old music on here in the My Music app. So you just go to media, you can go to that there. You do have the Bluetooth, so you can go ahead and connect your phone that way. And you also have AM, FM, and XM radio if you want to use that too. And then over here, I do like that it's touchscreen and you can kind of use buttons as well. But to pair your phone, just go in there.
Turn Bluetooth on from your device in order to search.
And then you just go right through it. And then your system settings here, you can change your language if you want to. Backup cameras here. Don't have the guidelines, but it does tell you the distance before you need to panic. I guess that's helpful. Volume can be adjusted here. Click there to turn the audio off. And then tune knob is here. Standard AC controls. Active eco, hit that and you can turn that eco mode on or off. Then we have a 12 volt over here, 12 volts over here, and then in the middle we have an aux input and a USB-A input. And you can run your audio off that USB-A or the aux if you so choose. And then for the shifter, hit this button, pull down reverse neutral drive. You can manually shift that 6-speed if you want to. E-brake is there, which I like. Bottle holders, center console cubby space. View of the back seat from up here. And then here, you can set the door lights there, and then you can click these on or off. Those are still working. Sunglasses holders there. Vanity mirror. We do have a light there that you toggle on. And then back to the front. Headlamp controls are over here, auto. And then high beams are there. Fog light controls there. And then windshield wiper controls over here. So one time off, intermittent low, high. You can adjust the intermittent setting here. And then you do have a rear wiper. So off, intermittent on. Push back for that rear wiper fluid. Pull up for the front wiper fluid. Now to the steering wheel, volume can be adjusted here. You can go through your track list or radio station presets here. Hit this mode button to go through your audio sources. And then over here we have our standard cruise control, so we can turn that on, off, set or resume, cancel. And then we do have our steering modes here. So if you want to set that to comfort, normal, or sport, you can do that. And I think that's pretty neat. I like how they did that. And then the trip meter can be toggled here. Several different options on what you can view there. And then you can reset anything by holding that reset button. Bluetooth controls, voice recognition there. But getting right into it, let's go ahead and take this 2016 Kia Soul Plus out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in the Soul, it can get a bit raspy in the higher RPMs, but I love how the 2-liter sounds overall, just with it being a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Nothing unexpected, but it does get up to speed relatively easily. So I like that. I'm gonna put the steering into sport, see what that changes. So not feeling too much of a difference, but totally fine. I'm gonna put it in the manual mode. I'm gonna put my foot into it. Let's see what this thing can really do. So not bad at all. Actually quite impressed just by how quick it gets up to speed here. Very impressive. Now it's not necessarily fast again, but it's not a slouch, and we're cruising here, and the ride itself is pretty nice. It could be worse. Obviously it doesn't ride like a Buick, but it's not bad. Wind noise is not intrusive. I can kind of hear the road noise a little bit, but not terrible. These days, most vehicles shouldn't have any weird sounds or whatever. They never sell them. So I mean, it's pretty normal, everything considered. And the cool thing about this is you can expect to get pretty good fuel economy numbers with a vehicle like this. You do have to put the foot down just a little bit to get the brake activated hard, but I like how it feels. Not overly touchy, but it doesn't feel unsafe either. So far I'm pretty impressed by this car in general. Just pickup, fuel economy's expected to be pretty good, and just the overall driving dynamics are impressive for a vehicle that's $12,000 used. I think this is around 13K, but it only has less than 59,000 miles. Now I do think in terms of competition, Kia has always had a pretty good market share on vehicles like this. You can think of the Hyundai Kona, maybe like the Mazda CX-30, just a small SUV that isn't really an SUV. It just kind of sits like one. Or there's a good example, that Chevy Trax there. They've always been very inexpensive, and other than GM, Kia's always been kind of ahead of the curve with technology that comes out. So having the hard drive installed here is great. And then the Bluetooth capability. In a car that's in this segment, a lot of the times it's hard to come by, and you can still keep the vehicle relatively affordable. So but I mean, for everyday commuting, if you're wanting to get something that's inexpensive that's also affordable on gas, this is the way to do it. And then if you do ever need to put your foot to the floor, it's not a complete letdown. Now, it's not turbocharged, so you don't have that feeling there, but it's also not a 1.6 liter naturally aspirated engine. This 2 liter is pretty strong, again, for what it is. But as I come to an end of this review, a really impressive car, again, if you're trying to stay on a budget, something that should last you for years to come, and then if you do ever need to fix it, won't necessarily break the bank as opposed to some newer vehicles. So with all that being said, this will bring me to an end of my review of this 2016 Kia Soul Plus.